So, the article that I read on Science Daily says that proximity to books and adult support enhance children's learning opportunities. This was basically about a study in which they put four vending machines in inner city neighborhoods in four different cities, in Detroit as well as in Washington, D.C. These vending machines were full of books. And they were actually arranged by grade level. So if um, you have a child and they're in the third grade, they could find a book that would be at their reading level. The books were free. You would just pick the book that you wanted and you could take the book home. And then the books were also changed every 2 weeks to encourage students and parents to come back and get more books. They also did this during the summer when children don't usually have access to books if they're from a low SES, like the students in these neighborhoods were. So what they ended up finding is basically what the title of the paper was, is that you need not only proximity to books, but you also need adult support in order to have gains in reading and to expose students to reading. So what they found with this is that students got more exposure to books. They were able to recognize books and how to read them. When they went back to school, they were more prepared to go to school. And they had gains in reading as well. They were not large gains, they were small, but there were gains, which is awesome. This is specifically for early literacy as well. So that's another reason why you need the parental support. You need the parent to be able to take them there, or the teacher, and then you also need them to read to the child in this case, and to inspire them to be interested in reading, right? So if you have one without the other, it really isn't going to help quite as much. Another finding from this study said that students who were not interested in reading didn't become interested in reading just by having proximity to books. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much all it was about. But I picked this article because this whole class we've been learning about English language learners in particular, and how to teach them how to read, and different strategies that we can use with English language learners as well as regular ed students. But I think this could be something that could really benefit English language learners, and I'm sure there were some that were in the study if they're from the inner city. Um, but I think it could be really beneficial. I know a lot of the parents in our district don't speak English, not all of them, but a lot of them, at least in the classes that I have been in. And they don't know how to help their children when it comes to reading because they can't read in English. So a lot of the times they don't know what to do. So in the kindergarten classes that I've worked in, the kindergarten teachers always tell the parents, read to your child. And when the parent says, I can't read in English, they tell them, read to your child in Spanish then. That's something that they really are lacking, is any kind of exposure to books. In fact, in the article, although it wasn't specifically talking about English learners, it was talking about how kids in the inner city are basically living in what they call book deserts because they don't have a close proximity to books at all. So I feel like if we did this with English learners, we could have vending machines that have books in English, but also books in Spanish, or even better, to have bilingual books that were in these machines. And then to make sure that we educate the parents on the fact that they have this resource available to them. I feel like that would really help students a lot, because a lot of the parents, although they don't know what to do sometimes, they want to help their children and they want their children to succeed. So I feel like proximity as well as the adult, and then also having that parent education could really benefit our English learners. If we were able to do some kind of study like this and then continue to make books available to them in a bilingual format, it would be really beneficial.